Hey, I'm Danielle Papagiorgio, and I want to take just a few moments and share with you about genetically modified organisms. Now, if you watched my last video about the conference that I'm doing, which is coming up on November 6th through 7th, it's going to be held at Learning RX in Concord, North Carolina. And I mentioned that I'll be discussing 12 foods that we need to try to avoid and 12 foods that we need to try to add into our diets, and then practical ways that we can go about that. But one of the foods on my list of top 12 things is GMOs. Definitely, it should probably be number one because they're just that bad. So what are GMOs? GMO stands for Genetically Modified Organism. More accurately, they should be called transgenic, because what this is, and bear with me because I'm not a scientist, but what scientists have done is they've taken DNA from one species and inserted it into the genes of another species. So for example, corn. Most of the corn that we get today, most of the corn grown in the U.S. is BT corn. It's genetically modified. So what they've done is they've taken DNA from a soil bacteria and they've inserted it into the corn. And this is supposed to make it more pest resistant. Well, there's a lot of problems with that. For one thing, eventually it's not working. It's starting to not work any longer. But the thing is, does that sound good to you? Does this sound natural? Let me give you another example, and this one really freaked me out. It's just disgusting. So another example is a tomato that they genetically engineered, and this was, I guess, one of the early tomatoes that they genetically engineered. They used flounder. They used DNA from fish, from flounder. I don't know about you, but I have never seen a flounder mating with a tomato in nature. This isn't natural. This isn't the way that God designed things to work. They're two different species. I mean, you don't even find them near each other. So why are these scientists putting DNA from one species into an entirely different species? They think they're doing this good thing, but it's not. And to me, I just scratch my head because I think it's so unnatural. I mean, for hundreds of years, farmers have been, taking two different plants and crossing them, and that's a natural way to get what you want from the plant. Taking a fish, taking their DNA and putting it into a tomato is not the way that we should be doing things. So what else did I want to talk about? So, okay, here's the thing too. They haven't done any long-term studies on this and how it affects our health. None. And yet it's approved by the FDA, and it's something that we're eating every single day, most of us. It is so hard now to avoid GMOs. They're everywhere. So how did this happen? Well, it's a long story, and I could get into all of that, but basically what it comes down to is that the industry did their own testing, like for 3 months, I believe it was. Monsanto did some testing, and they said that this was good. Their tests were good, and that their genetically modified food should be approved because they're substantially equivalent. That's a term that you hear a lot, substantially equivalent. What does that mean? I don't think that food like this is substantially equivalent to the food that God designed and the way it grows naturally. So I guess because it looks like a tomato, it's considered substantially equivalent, but it's entirely different. And so that's how they got it approved. And we're eating, like I said, we're eating this stuff every day unless you are vigilant and you are very careful about where you get your food. So I'm just trying to see here if there's anything else I wanted to mention to you, and I'm sorry that this video is kind of just spur of the moment, but I did want to send out some previews and let you know the kind of thing that you're going to hear at the conference, because I just think it's so important that this information gets out there. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people are feeding this food, so-called food, to their families, and they have no idea that it is so different and altered from the way that God designed it to be. Okay, so here's another thing. I knew I wanted to mention something else to you. So the study that has been done, the most accurate, scientifically done study, the one that I'm aware of, was the Seralini study, and this scientist did a study on his own, which is very expensive, but and that's why I think a lot of studies haven't been done. But his study is disturbing, and you need to go on Google and look it up. Seralini. What he found was that it was a 2-year study. By the end of the study, the rats that he was feeding the GMO foods had huge tumors. And you can go and see this. And rats, the type of rat that he used was a type that grows tumors at about the same, like the chance of a tumor is about the same as it would be in humans. So that's just really disturbing, and you can see pictures of these rats. It makes me wonder, because there's a link there too in the study. He talks about breast cancer. You know, breast cancer is so much on the rise nowadays, and you just have to wonder, could this be part of it? It makes sense. So there's so much I could share with you, and you know, again, this conference that I'm doing is 6 hours, 6 full hours, so I will have a lot more content ready for you at that time, and I just can't wait to dive into this topic even more, because I think it makes me more passionate about the fact that I need to be careful what I'm eating and what my family's eating. My husband, every time he eats anything with any GMOs, and he just recently accidentally got some food with GMOs, he has horrible stomach cramps, and it'll last for 2, 3, or 4 weeks, and it takes a long time for him to get over that. And so I know that this food is not good for us. When you start connecting the dots and really paying attention to your body, you can see that you know, it's just something that we should not be eating, and it just makes sense. It just makes sense. So I hope you'll come to the conference. Again, it's November 6th and 7th. And if you got this video with a Facebook link attached, go to that Facebook page and let me know what you think. And let me know what more I can research for you on this topic or any other topic. And I think that's about it. Food is the Foundation is the name of my conference. Go to www.foodisthefoundation.com. I guess you don't need the W's on the beginning, but go to that website. It'll tell you more about the conference. You can register, and I do hope you'll come and invite your friends and share this video. Thank you. Bye.